Hey, patrons.
Hi, guys.
We hope you loved journeying to Earth.
Yeah.
We're here talking about it today,
Yeah. I've got some notes about it for our conversation.
as per usual.
Why do I sound surprised that I have notes?
I know.
Okay. So this journey has a lot to do with grounding. It has a lot to do with what people think grounding really is. And I'm likening it a little bit to experiences where clients come in and say, I'm here for you to ground me. And then the spirit world saying, teach them journeys on how to ground themselves. And I remember thinking and saying to the guides, well, if I'm going to teach them and we're going to help them ground themselves, then what about the people who just think that they can go to an energy healer, a Reiki master, or a level 1 Reiki or something, you know what I mean? And say, you ground me. And the guide said, well, no, you don't just go in and just say, you ground me. People have to be groundable.
Love it.
And I thought, oh, I really, really like that. So I said, explain it a little bit more. And they said, well, if you are somebody who is a narcissist, constantly people pleases others, flip-flops, doesn't know who you are, lies, is greedy, you can't be grounded. You have to be able to have certain qualities and value certain things in life. You have to be aware of your ego to be able to ground or to be grounded. So I said, so would it be a good argument to say then that if I'm a shit show of a human being and I show up at a Reiki person's house or therapeutic touch or quantum or anything and say, here's my $30 or whatever, right? And you ground me. And the person says, there you go, and takes your money and says they grounded you. Did they in fact ground you? And the guide said, well, do you really believe that if you walked into, say, a prison and somebody who's murdered somebody says, oh, we have some volunteers coming in and they're going to ground us, that somebody who can easily take another person's life could spend $30 and just be grounded? And I said, well, no. That doesn't make sense. You have to live a life with the same qualities.
This is interesting. I can follow you to a certain degree, and then I'm thinking of some different scenarios. But what I really pulled was being groundable.
Yes.
Because if I think of, I'm going to pick on Eric for a second. If he walks into this room into your house after a long day of teaching children music and is up in his head and has to do business and has all these things going on, walks into your living room, you're sitting on one of your chairs reading, and he goes, oh, this is so nice. You're so grounding to be around.
Yes.
There's a quality in him that is groundable.
That's
because
correct.
he can observe, see what's going on over there,
Yes.
how he can benefit from it in a really good way,
Yeah.
not from taking from you.
Yeah.
And sit in the stillness, sit in the energy that you have provided as a person.
That's right.
And I'm saying this on purpose, not as to draw a shaman into it, because we can think of friends who do this to us or family members where we're around them and their energy grounds us.
Yeah.
But if I'm, as you mentioned, a raging narcissist and I walk into the room and I see you, same energy, being Karen, and I want to still make it all about me and still be high on my manic mood, then shelling out money is not going to do that.
That's right. That's what I'm saying.
I know that's what you're saying.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So the guides are talking about that you have to be groundable, and that means that you have qualities or that you have values or beliefs. I don't know how to word that because there's a variety of things that you could have. But I want to give another example. So say someone wants to be grounded and they come in for an energy treatment and you say we work on that. And then they walk right out the door, get into their car, and their boyfriend has picked them up or their child and they turn around and start just screaming at them, the grounding is gone.
Because you've chosen to live differently.
That's what I'm saying. Yeah. So I liked how the guide said, teach it, and be able to give them things to question around boundaries, around different things for it to be part of what they understand really being grounded means. And so being grounded is more than just an energy treatment or just a one-time experience. And I think that's where people can say, oh, energy healing doesn't work. That's right. Because if that's how you're living your life, you're correct. It isn't going to work. You might as well put your energy healer in your back pocket and you'll have to take them everywhere with you because of how you behave. Are we actually ever grounding you? Yeah, maybe we are getting it done. But if you don't have the emotional intelligence and the other qualities and behaviors that go along with living that life congruently, then you're pretending. Or you're out there maybe because you actually are seeking it and just don't fully understand it. And the intention, I think, here with the spirit guides was to show them that this intention of grounding has to be something that you want all the time. And, oh yeah, I'm grounded when I'm with this group of friends, but I'm sure not grounded when I get drunk with that group.
Because I don't want to be. Because it's a choice not to.
Yeah, that group's a mean group. We like picking on people. We like laughing at other people's expense. You can't be grounded if you're going to go make fun of people, for instance. That would be an action that doesn't allow you to be grounded. So I really liked that that they were giving them these visualizations, but also challenging them about what they think. If I go into another example from the journey, if you're somebody who I'm going to do the journey and I'm going to get grounded, I'm going to watch those beautiful little tree trunks come out of my spine and go down into the earth. Ooh, love it. And you feel fantastic. But you walk out and you let people cross your boundaries, you're ungrounded again. So what do you have to do? You actually have to learn how to set boundaries. You actually have to learn how to do healthy confrontation skills, which is why, if you're sitting in this group, you know about Sips of Sanity.
I was going to say, I think you did a lovely job. I know it was planned. The guides kind of always give you what's coming next, but it was a really lovely follow-up to this month's Sips of Sanity, which is never intentional. Has not been intentional in the past. Where they didn't, Sips and the journey didn't necessarily go together. And I thought this was a really, really unique month.
Yeah, I thought it was beautiful for them. And I do think that it's necessary because with what's going on with COVID-19 and how everybody's feeling, or many people are feeling stressed, are feeling ungrounded, that this is a good time to put the whole thing together for them, to say, the emotional intelligence is important. Boundary setting is important. The narcissism and learning about it is. The people-pleasing is. The toolkits are for verbal abuse. The anger toolkits. Everything is important. Because if you're going to say, again, there's another example, I'm going to ground myself. I'm going to go on my mat, or I'm going to go lay on my bed and do a journey and ground and do that. And then when I come out, if I start verbally abusing other people or I allow them to verbally abuse me, you're not grounded again. So somebody might listen to us today and go, well, this is just too fucking hard. And we're saying, no, if you're in this tier and you're listening, it's not too hard. We're giving consistent tools every single month, every single show. There is total consistency and grounding when you stick with these people who are healthy.
Yeah. And can I pull out another point that hasn't been spelled out, but I'd like to do that? Is, what you're talking about is actually being present and putting good things into action. And I want to make this point because, COVID is a huge issue going on right now, obviously, but so are the protests of Black Lives Matter. And here in Canada are Indigenous lives.
Yes.
And yes, you can be exhausted from looking at the news and the constant fight that we do have to put up in order for things to change. Yeah. It's necessary. Grounding does not mean I turn things off and ignore.
That's right.
It does not mean I put my head in the sand so that I can feel peaceful again.
Right.
That's not what grounded means. That's a piece of self-care.
Yeah.
Where you just need a break and you need to kind of regroup your thoughts and your energy. But then you've got to come back to being present and putting good things into action. And I'll say too, I'm definitely stealing this, but do what you can from where you are with what you have right now.
Right.
And that doesn't have to be tons or monumental, but that is part of the action of grounding yourself.
Yes, that's right. And being grounded means that you know what your boundaries are. That's being grounded. Mm-hmm. And it's knowing when someone's crossing them and being able to have the ability and that emotional intelligence to say that crosses a boundary, or to say, no, thank you. You don't have to use the term boundary, but being able to say, no, thank you, or whatever your no page is. Mm-hmm. So another aspect of this that I thought was really interesting, going back and doing the journeys a couple of times to see different things the guys wanted to teach them, had a lot to do with their breathing when you're grounding. And I'm certain that if anybody's listening, or the people that are listening to this that did the journey and want to hear this conversation, or waiting, when's she going to talk about the breathing? When's she going to talk about the breathing? Because in the journeys, you and I both know when we're reading them and when we're saying them, that we pause purposely, calmly to say, breathe. And we want them to hear that consistency in our tone of voice so that eventually, if they are out in public and somebody is, or they're not behaving well or someone else isn't, that they hear that very calm breathe. I want them to hear that, if it's your voice, my voice, their voice, whatever it is, so that they can take those pauses and go, I'm not grounded right now. Mm-hmm. This group of people here, they're all, talking about a coworker, or they're gossiping, or they're doing something. This means I'm not being grounded right now. Yeah. And what can I do while they're behaving that way? Oh, I can breathe. Mm-hmm. And that will instantly and help me ground me. I don't have to worry about where they're at and grounding them. But I don't have to participate in this. I can notice that I'm not feeling grounded when I'm with that girlfriend or guy friend or that sibling who likes to talk about all their other siblings. Mm-hmm.
Or, right? Even just when someone's standing in front of you trying to rush you to make a decision.
Right.
It doesn't even have to be that there's a poor relationship or a bad attitude or a consistently bad attitude. It might just be that they have a sense of urgency that you don't. Yes. And your breath can be the thing that keeps you grounded as you make your decision.
Oh, I like that as an example, Kelly. When we feel ungrounded, and maybe people didn't even realize that, when somebody is creating that sense of urgency, and they might be speaking faster or raise their voice higher and talk like this.
Eyeballs.
Yep. Open up their eyes more, or stare at you so that you can't look away because I want you to do this. Mm-hmm. Or start yelling, or whatever it is, swearing, whatever it is, crying, whatever it is that they do to create a sense of urgency, so that you feel ungrounded with their presentation or their drama, however you want to call their show. And becoming aware that that's their show, but it means I feel ungrounded because of their show. So what do I do then, coming out of this type of journey again, to know how I want to feel? So can I visualize that same thing coming out of my spine or down into the earth as they're talking? So blah, 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 but I'm thinking and I'm visualizing and I'm breathing. What do I do while they're acting? Mm-hmm. While they're ungrounding me. Mm-hmm. And I want to go, nay. You can't unground me.
Yeah.
I get to choose that I'm going to be grounded, and I know what I'm going to do. So you do what you want, and I'm going to do what I want, but you can't unground me. So this is giving people back their power and power within. Mm-hmm. I think it's fun.
I know you do. You make them.
I just think it's so good. Because if I think that somebody might stand there now and go, God, I hadn't seen the journey to be in that way. I need to go back and redo it. I heard what the girls said. Now I need to go back. I hadn't realized the value of the journey, of paying attention to the breath or to the different sensations when they're guiding me to do different parts. If I think about it now, my journey, my breathing changed at different times, right? Mm-hmm. And it was purposely done like that, and the breathing was inserted at certain points for them to pay attention to it. Mm-hmm. So if my breathing was becoming shallow and then the direction was breathe, did I come back into my body and feel tension in the body? We're trying to teach you to do those things so that you can do it standing up, so that you can do it sitting at work in a chair. It's part of the reason why we learn to journey laying down first, where you get to really pay attention to everything and then get good enough to sit up.
And do it while other people are talking and leading a meeting so that you can do your body scans and figure out what you need as things change around you.
Right.
Cool.
Yeah. The value of learning to do the journey and how it actually is implemented in our daily lives. Yeah. That's it for today.
Awesome. Okay. So they've got their final journey.
Yeah. No.
Next month.
Oh, yes. Sorry, Kelly. I should have let you just finish your thought.
They're like, didn't you just say on Monday that you liked working with each other?
I will let you finish sentences.
This is why this works. Cool. Thank you for preparing all of that.
Oh, yeah. My pleasure.
Cool. Okay. So if you have questions or comments about your own journey experience, or you just, like we said, want to reach out and share, that's always appreciated and always welcomed. You can email us at info@bysarlo.com. Otherwise, we've got a brand new Coffee with the Sarlos out for you tomorrow morning.